And thank you so much for joining us. The journey through menstruation is not always comfortable, and every woman's experience is different. The cramps, mood changes, body temperature fluctuations, and hormone shifts can feel unpredictable. And everybody has their own rhythm, and for many, we can find comfort by turning into that rhythm. For some, this is where Ayurveda comes to be extremely beneficial. Ayurveda looks at your unique constitution and how your body responds to each cycle. Whether you are struggling with irregular periods, intense PMS, or perimenopause symptoms, Ayurvedic principles might be beneficial for bringing your system back into balance. And this is why we're so glad to chat on IG Live today with Hema Mavers, an Ayurdoula, women's health practitioner and a menstruation coach. So during this live, we are going to discuss our body's inner seasons, how they connect to our menstrual cycles, and how to aid our symptoms naturally.
Sorry, the realities of being mum to a little 5-month-old. How are you?
Oh, wow. Great. I have a 1 year and a half, so I get it. But thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
No worries. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was really kind of you to reach out.
And tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a women's health specialist.
Yeah, so it actually started really with my own health journey. I was a dancer and I was really not looking after my body. I was overworking and undernourishing myself essentially. And I just in my early 20s reached a burnout, and the sort of conventional medicine, the doctors, they had no answers for me. So I started to look outside of that, and I found an Ayurvedic doctor, and she literally, it felt like she just completely rebuilt my body. And I was so inspired by that I thought I have to learn more about this. And so I went on to learn more. I started out actually as an Ayurdoula, um, training to work with women postpartum, and then I thought I want to work with women in general, and so I continued on and branched out. I really started to understand just how important the menstrual cycle is for women, and so I really realized that nobody in the Ayurvedic world was really touching on the importance of the menstrual cycle. And so that I thought, oh, okay, maybe there's a niche for me there. I was passionate to combine healing the menstrual cycle through the Ayurvedic lens. And that kind of brings me to today.
I love it. I love it. For those who don't know, what is Ayurveda? Like, what drew you towards incorporating these concepts into your practice?
So Ayurveda is an ancient health wisdom, and it originates in India, and it literally translates to the science of life. Ayur means life, and Veda means science or knowledge. And the thing that really drew me to it was just how universally applicable the wisdom is. It's elemental. It really boils down to how understanding the 5 elements and how they are working within and without in nature. And the elements exist everywhere. And so it's really actually very simple to apply in life.
Yeah, it feels like complicated, but now that you're explaining it, it feels like yes, it could be applied. But we're gonna get into it in a little bit. And
Yeah.
one of the many hats you wear is as an Ayurdoula. You just mentioned. Could you explain what is an Ayurdoula does? Like, what do you actually do day in, day out?
Yeah, so an Ayurdoula means an Ayurvedic doula, and so that's where you're working with women through their pregnancy and in postpartum, because though that threshold, that initiation into motherhood, it really takes a lot of energy to birth a baby, and in that initial postpartum period, it's described in Ayurveda that there is a window of opportunity where the body is reconfiguring, that physically everything is shifting, emotionally, mentally, everything is shifting to accommodate this new identity. And so the way that a mother is cared for in those 42 days is said to impact the next 42 years of life. And so as an Ayurdoula, you really guard that sacred space for a woman and make sure that she is well fed and well nourished and massaged and has lots of herbal remedies, and you're really just mothering the mother.
I love it. I love it. Now, when it comes to menstruation, which is sort of our main topic today, what does the quote like increases like and opposites bring balance like mean to you? What does it mean?
So this is an Ayurvedic aphorism, a saying, and it means that if you are experiencing a certain quality in your life and you want to assist in bringing that into balance, you need to bring in opposing qualities. So let's say, for example, you are experiencing a lot of coldness in your life. Perhaps your extremities are cold, you have scanty, painful periods, you are experiencing even perhaps coldness in your emotions. This coldness could be appearing in any area of your life. Then in order to bring balance, you want to bring in warmth. So it's a very simple concept, but when we can apply it in our life and really understand how to really read different qualities in Ayurveda, there's 5 elements, just like we know in any knowledge of the world. We understand these 5 elements, and those 5 elements are displayed in 20 different qualities. And when you learn to read these qualities, there are 10 opposing pairs. And so if you're experiencing cold, you need warmth. If you're experiencing lightness, you need groundedness, and vice versa. And so that's where that phrase comes from.
That is so cool. So, we're discussing today like Ayurveda, how it could be beneficial for menstruation. So, on a high level, how do the natural qualities or tendencies within our body and mind influence our overall wellness? And then, like, what are some ways that we can bring those qualities into balance?
Yeah, so the 5 elements are we're made up of 5 elements. They're within us, and each person will have those 5 elements to varying degrees. And so in Ayurveda, these 5 elements are paired up and they're called doshas. So if you are more air and space, you are vata. If you are more fire and water, you're pitta. And if you're more earth and water, you're kapha. And so this will really influence the qualities that are prevalent in your life. So vata individuals, they are going to be more light in their frame, more creative, airy, light, spacious beings. And so they are going to want to be bringing in warmth, groundedness, steadiness, slowness to really bring balance to their body. These types of people, they may experience more irregular periods if they're out of balance, more painful periods, light bleeds. Then you have your pitta individuals. These are your fiery, passionate beings. They are very driven, ambitious, and medium frame. And if they are out of balance, they could experience a lot of PMS, a lot of more heavy flow in their periods, and it can be really beneficial for them to bring in soothing, cooling, calming qualities to bring balance. And then you have kaphas. They are earthy individuals, and they will tend to be more slow, steady, compassionate. And if they get out of balance, they can be a little bit, a little bit more boggy in nature. And if that comes out of balance in their cycle, they can experience kind of sticky, heavy flow, a lot of congestion because kapha is building. So they may feel like they are holding on to water retention. And so then they want to bring in light movement, invigoration, move the lymph. And so those are the three different constitutions and the way that it may manifest in their life and their cycle.
I love it how it's both physical and also mental. So it's like really combining because traditional medicine only treats physical symptom, but sometimes ignoring the other aspects of it. But I love this how it's like combining everything.
Yeah, you can't separate the mind, the emotion, and the body. They are all one.
Yeah. I also know Ayurveda can also be dictated by seasonal changes. So while cycles are dictated by hormone changes, like what is the connection between these changes, seasonal and a hormonal?
Yeah. So the year has 4 seasons. The earth has 4 seasons, and those 4 seasons are reflected in the menstrual cycle. And so each phase of the menstrual cycle is like a microcosm for a season of the year. So you have your follicular phase when estrogen is rising. That is like our inner spring. Just like when we look in nature, everything is blossoming and blooming, and there's this new, fresh, creative energy that correlates to our inner spring. That's like what we're experiencing as women in the follicular phase. And then ovulation is like the summer season where everything is just at its peak. Everything peaks in summer, and the same women experience this peak fertility, peak creativity, peak energy, everything, peak estrogen. And then the luteal phase is like our inner autumn. And just like in autumn, the trees are starting to lose their leaves. Everything is really moving more internal towards the hibernation of winter. And so in the luteal phase, that is what our body is asking us. Our inner autumn is asking us to slow down and to really take stock of the year, or that month, and what do we want to let go of. And then we move into our inner winter, into our menstrual phase, where we can really let go and shed and hibernate and rest. And that is what the inner winter is asking of us, just like we see in winter.
It makes so much sense now that you're explaining it. Like so that's literally exactly how you would feel during your cycle.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are your tips for our inner winter during menstruation?
So in a winter, you really want to be bringing in warmth. So eating soft, warm, soupy foods, resting as much as possible. And I know everybody has a completely different schedule. And so what rest looks like for one person will be different to another. But where you can slow down, you can really take time to nourish yourself. That is going to be good. You really want to be thinking hibernation and so whatever you can let go of is going to be ideal for that. Ginger tea, warm soups, all of these things are going to be really beneficial for helping to combat cramps and just feeling really rejuvenated throughout in a winter, and just honoring that time that the body is letting go. The body is
Oh. Okay, so then what should we look out for during our inner spring or the follicular phase?
So in a spring, we've just had the blood loss of menstruation. And so ideally, we want to be bringing in blood building foods and herbs. So anything, any your green leafy vegetables, your beetroots, your red dates and hibiscus, anything that is really going to assist in building and replenishing the blood, nettle tea, anything like that. Parsley is good. And you also want to be really mirroring that rise of estrogen. So energy is starting to return. And so this is a really good time to lean into just really tapping into any projects that you have been really keen to get into, anything that really requires a lot of energy. The follicular phase is going to be a good time because your estrogen is rising, your mood is rising, your concentration is rising. And so this is a really good time to, do those more high intensity workouts and really, yeah, just be extroverted as well. This is your, if you're thinking in terms of yin and yang, this is a yang part of the cycle where you'll be facing out into the world and you feel good doing that.
Mhm. What about inner summer or the ovulation phase? How to bring balance during this time?
Yeah, so in the inner summer ovulation, estrogen is peaking, you're at your peak fertility. And so something that I always encourage women to really lean into during ovulation is creativity. Your body is wired for creativity at this time because biologically there's the potential to conceive life. And so leaning into that creativity, this is also a really social time. And so I always recommend this is a really good time to schedule meeting with friends, doing group projects, anything that requires a lot of social energy, speaking. And one thing I always caution is don't make commitments when you're ovulating because you're really likely to say yes to things that are actually a no.
That's really interesting. Okay. Uh, how about the luteal phase then, our inner fall? And what should we do to support our bodies during this period?
Yeah, so in our inner autumn, in the luteal phase, we are really experiencing with the rise of progesterone a call to slow down and to move inwards. This is a yin part of our cycle. And so I always say if you're experiencing PMS, this is the body saying, please make space. PMS, please make space. And so slow down where we can and really another thing that happens at this time is that then we can have a higher caloric need, so we get hungrier. And a lot of women, because they experience this, they will be worried of overeating and getting, and because you can also bloat at this time. And I always say honor those cravings, eat more complex carbohydrates are really good at this time, and really honoring that need for more calories. It's normal and natural, and just slowing down and really tuning inwards and taking stock. If we think in nature, autumn is a time of harvest. What can you harvest from this past month? And then discern, what can I let go of and what do I want to hold on to? And then when you move into your bleed, you will be ready then to shed what needs to be shed, not just physically, but on an emotional and mental level as well.
Wow, this is so cool. Thank you for this explanation. So I think it get sometimes, I mean, everything feels like really intuitive, but then if you dial in, there's like so much to it, what exactly you do. And I could even see that busy women would probably want, okay, can you guide me through what's my like each phase? It's my, you know, menu. You may say like, what should I be exactly doing? What are the food I should be eating? I mean, like there's so much to it. So how can someone work with you?
Yeah. So on my Instagram, there's a link in my bio where they can reach out to me personally. They're also welcome just to DM me at Simple for the Simple. That's going to be, yeah, email or DM is going to be the best place to reach out to me.
Amazing. Anything else you'd like to promote or share?
Yeah, so I'm actually in November, I'm launching a very special practitioner course because I've reached capacity in my ability to work one-to-one with women. So I have got to the point where I need to train others to meet the demand. And so I'm launching the Cyclical Wisdom Pathway, which is a practitioner level course. So I'm meeting with women one to one for enrollment because it's really important to me that the right people are joining the course because this is such a heart led project for me and course. So that's really my big offering at the moment.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations. And then
You.
second is to thank you for expanding and then so more people can actually get to know this information. Everything just like makes perfect sense.
It's amazing how intuitive it is because we feel it, we experience it as women. So when it's explained to us, it's like it almost is like I know when I first learned all this knowledge, I felt like, oh wow, I feel heard and I feel seen, and things that I thought were not normal or bad or don't fit into modern society's demands to always be at the same pace. I suddenly felt like, oh no, I have permission to actually be in my body and to flow with it.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I think we're gonna have to invite you back to talk more about maybe we can even dive down to each phase, like additional tips, what you could do during those phases.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could go much deep. I mean, there's almost never ending how deep you
Yeah.
can go. So I'm 100% up for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful day.
You too. Lovely to meet you.
Yep. So, bye bye.
Bye.